Toby.
And it's Josh.
Josh, that was a perfectly symmetrical and not at all stupid intro.
Nothing we do is stupid, and everything we do is symmetrical.
This is issue number 7 of Geek Pop Podcast, the podcast where Josh and I tell embarrassing life stories, answer your questions, and make general fuckery out of everything.
Can I just stop for a second and tell you that you're doing great on that intro? Like, you're killing it. Just nailing it.
I fucking nail things all day.
You do. All day long, everybody. Toby's nailing
I'm like
things.
A carpenter.
All day. This is the friend cast. Starting off with compliments.
Woo! Here's a compliment bomb for you. Your voice sounds nice today.
Why, thank you, good sir.
And now we got that shit out of the way. Josh.
Yes, Toby. I'm sorry. I was swallowing my excitement of being friends with you.
I heard you got hurt this week.
I did a little bit. This is probably where we stop being friends and you start making fun of me again like normal.
Okay, well, real quick.
Sure.
The way you fucking prepped this up to me, oh my god, it was so bad. It was so bad. So I say, Josh, how do you get hurt this week? Well, a little bit. Well, maybe.
Well, I mean, like, all right, when it first happened, it was a little scary. So here's what happened. There was some broken glass in my apartment, as happens on occasion.
Broken glass everywhere. I forget the
broken
rest
glass
of the rap
and razor
words.
blades. Anyway, so broken glass, you have to throw it away, right? But then it's in the trash bag, so you got to carry out the trash bag. So I was in the trash bag with a bunch of other stuff.
Life lessons from Geek Pop Podcast.
What?
Life lessons from Geek Pop Podcast.
Yeah, when you break glass, you throw it away.
And you gotta put that bag in another bag and take it out to the trash.
Exactly. So I double bagged this broken glass. Turns out, broken glass, still pretty sharp, Toby, and it broke through 2 trash bags. So I was like holding the bag away from me on the way out, but then when I got to the door, I like pulled the bag into me to like pass through the doorway. And when I did that, I apparently spun it at the same time and sliced my leg open with a piece of glass.
What was the glass from? What did you break?
It was like a jar, like a canister sort of thing. It was just like, food container glass stuff.
Okay.
So like it didn't hurt, but like it was a little scary because like I could tell I cut my leg. Didn't know how bad it was. It's sort of like on the back. So I'm like looking at it, and it's like this huge gaping hole, and like instantly just starts just gushing blood, like blood running down my leg. So I'm like, oh well, shit.
Did you feel badass?
A little bit, yeah, because it looks like sort of an action figure type scar. So like I run back upstairs, and of course, Toby, I am a bachelor, never prepared for anything. I don't have any band-aids, 0 band-aids. So it's just like blood running down my leg, into my shoe, all over the place. I'm like wiping it up with paper towels because that's all I have.
That's fine. That soaks it up.
It did. It soaked it up enough. Like I was able to like get out, go buy some band-aids, get it all taken care of. But then I'm pretty sure I should have like gotten a stitch or 2 in it because it was kind of gapped open. So
You see super glue.
Well, okay, so here's where we get into like the really like I boned this up thing.
No.
So my solution, instead of like going to the doctor and having them like stitch it up, was I bought this stuff called Wound Seal. Okay.
So it's basically super glue.
No, that's what I thought when I bought it, was that it's just going to glue it up and it'll be fine. What Wound Seal actually is, Toby, it looks like dirt, okay? Picture like really ground up dirt, okay?
Okay.
I did not know that it looked or felt like dirt until it was too late. The directions are pour it on the wound and then it will form like a scab. So I break open the top, pour it on the wound. Turns out when it comes out, it looks and feels just like dirt, goes right into the hole, and so anyway, so then it's just like a pile of dirt on my leg. So I let it. You're supposed to like press on it and let the scab form. I pressed on it, hurt like crazy. Anyway, then I wiped away all the excess dirt. So then you look at it, and it's just a big hole in my leg with dirt in the middle, and then I left it. So now it looks infected. Long story short. It's kind of red, and it looks dirty. This is bad.
So the only thing that I thought of after you told me this story, this is gonna be a random injury story for me.
Okay.
I used to work it's called Ollie's Bargain Outlet, and it's basically like a Big Lots or just cabinets. If you listeners have them around your house, or it's like a step down from Walmart almost. It's like buyout clearance stuff, whatever.
I think we have an Ollie's around here somewhere, actually. That sounds
we've expanded
familiar.
pretty far because it was only like far East Coast for a long time. We're getting out there, apparently. I'm gonna say we like I still work there from like 10 years ago.
You know, I have some stock still.
It's like when people root for their favorite teams and say, "Oh, we're winning this year," you know?
It's just like that.
We're expanding westward bound. I forget what the Manifest Destiny. There we go.
Manifest Destiny. Ollie, it's the rightful place to take over from Big Lots.
But so all of our fixtures in the theme of let's keep this place cheap as shit and look like a fucking ghetto. All the floors are just plain unfinished cement.
Yep.
All of the fixtures were like 2x4s stacked together, or like Hollywood cinder blocks stacked up with like plywood laid across them. So everything was cheap as shit. But a lot of our like farm fixtures, like for rakes and shovels and all that kind of bullshit, they were like, we'll say a 6x6 box made out of 2x4s with like fence lattice across the top of them to put everything in.
Okay.
So the one day we're moving one of these boxes back into the storeroom, and my friend was pulling the pallet jack. I was holding kind of this box on the back of the pallet jack. So I'm apparently walking too close to it. So we hit a bump going into the break, like towards the back where the stock room was. We hit a bump. This huge wooden box of 2x4 monstrosity falls on my toe, like directly onto my toe.
Dang.
I scream "fuck" as loud as possible in the middle of the store.
Nice.
And start hobbling around immediately. So I hobble my way up to the front, like, cause I tried to walk it off at first, not be a pussy. I'm not gonna lie, I tried to walk it off, but I'm like limping around bad, and like this does not feel good. So I take my shoe off because there was no like real work uniform there.
Yeah.
It was put on a t-shirt, a pair of jeans, sneakers, and throw this red vest on.
Okay.
So my feet were not protected for this sort of incident.
No, you were not wearing steel-toed boots.
Off. Yeah, I was wearing fucking skater shoes. So I take my shoe off, and my sock is just red.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, this is probably not good. So I hobble up to the front. I tell my manager, like, hey, the 2x4 pallet thing fell on my toe. It's red. My toe hurts. I can barely walk right now.
It's red. So it's bloody. It's not red. Like,
it's red. It's a maroonish blood-tinged color. I think I'm leaking water somehow.
It's liquid.
A liquid is coming out of my foot. So my manager's like, go in the back, try to clean it up real quick, see how bad it is, come back up here. So I hobble my way back to the bathroom, which is pretty much all the way across the store. Pretty big store. My foot's in the sink, bleeding, like dripping blood everywhere, trying to get some semblance of like cleanness on my toe. This guy comes in the bathroom, which was the last thing I wanted to fucking happen.
Yeah.
And he just looks at me with my foot in my sink, like blood dripping everywhere. And I was like, I had an issue.
I had an issue.
So the guy's like, okay, and kind of just like goes to the bathroom quick and walks out. So I walked back up front. I had to go to the hospital, of course. There was a football game on, so the manager that took me was all excited because he could watch football then instead of working. There was also flooding everywhere, so we had to go back roads to get to the hospital. This starts my 6-week recovery of my broken toe. But it wasn't really broken, Josh, because in the 6 weeks I went to the doctor. I went to the ER the first night. I went to a foot doctor 2 days later. I went to the foot doctor 5 weeks after.
Okay.
From my initial ER diagnosis to my last doctor's visit, I had 5 different doctors tell me 5 different things. My toe was broken. It was not broken. I needed pins. I didn't need pins. The one doctor was like, I'm not sure what happened in the first place. That's pretty much when I gave up on this shit.
I'm not sure what happened in the first place. Like, no, I've got that one covered.
I'm not sure what happened either. But you weren't there when the pallet fell on my toe.
Yeah.
But the highlight of this was I got stitches the first night at the ER because they were like, we need to put the nail back on because it'll probably help protect the huge cut that's in your foot.
Dear Lord.
It pretty much just like put the nail through my toe.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So they stitched me back up. I don't like needles at all. So getting stitches scares me. Getting shots scares me. All that kind of stuff fucks with me pretty bad.
Uh-huh.
So when I go to the foot doctor 2 days later, he's like, we need to do this, we need to do this. He says to me, I don't know why I sewed the nail back on. It's not going to heal right with the nail on. We need to take it off. And I look at him, and I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, I need to take the stitches out. It's probably going to hurt a little bit, but we're going to get them out. It's not healthy for your toe.
What the heck?
So he's like, I can give you more Novocaine shots in your toe so you don't feel this, because you're probably going to feel it. And I was like, yep, you sure are, dude. And I was 22, 23 for this.
Uh-huh.
So he's Gives me 2 shots. He's like, do you feel this? I said, not really. He's like, well, you really shouldn't feel this still. And I was like, well, I feel you pushing on my toe, so it's not numb yet. He goes, okay, I'll give you another shot, and we'll try in a couple minutes. He gives me a 3rd shot. I said, oh, what? I kind of feel the pressure, not really. So he kind of just grabs my toe and starts trying to pull the stitches out.
What the heck?
I flinched so hard that, like, I pulled back, and he's like, what's your issue or what's wrong? And I was like, you know, like when you get a lot of pain and you get fired up real fast?
Uh-huh.
Josh, you know when I get excited and I get fired up and I start cursing?
Uh-huh.
He tweaks my broken toe. He asks what the problem is. I said, it fucking hurts. And I screamed, like, it fucking hurts in the doctor's office. And he shot me a dirty look and wasn't a fan of my foul language. But he was like, okay, I'll give you another minute or two. But he was not a fan of me screaming.
Oh, man.
It fucking hurts in the doctor's office.
So, like, I'm the same way. Like, and people, like, get mad at me about this. But, like, whenever I, like, get hurt, like legit hurt, like something drops on my foot, like anything like that, like, you know, you're in pain and you're going like, oh, that hurt, or like, you know, like, oh, fuck. You know, the first reaction for anyone around you is like, oh, man, are you okay, right?
Yeah.
I never fails. My first reaction is to attack that person. Just like, oh, man, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not fucking okay. And I don't know why, like, that is my, like, go-to reaction, but I think it's just, like, taking out the pain, taking out the anger, but, like, I've literally had people, like, feel bad for me, and like, oh, man, are you okay? Me yell at them, and then be, like, basically, like, oh, fuck you, and just leave.
I feel like that's like that's old genetics coming through, like fight or flight.
I really, yeah.
When you get injured, your immediate response is just to fight somebody.
Yeah, just like start swinging, but like it's misdirected. It's at the person who wants to help me.
The pallet fell on my toe. I'm gonna punch you in the face for trying to help me limp back to the office.
Exactly. Like I've literally yelled like, "Well, that's a stupid question." Before it. You know what? I'm not proud of it, but that's just the thing about me. It just happens. Comes out.
So, Josh, I was talking to one of the girls I'm friends with at work today.
Uh-huh.
And I think we're talking about high school or, like, different generations and that kind of dumb shit. And for whatever reason, it reminded me of the time there was a bomb threat at my school.
Okay. And
this ties into a second, more entertaining story that I'm going to tell you first as we followed up by the bomb scare story because they kind of go together.
This is like a freaking Tarantino film or something. Like, we're starting at the end, working our way back.
Bomb scare. Let's see how the bomb started.
and that noise was like the explosion, like sucking itself back in.
Or the bomb exploding. You never know.
Yeah.
I might have died. So when I was like a junior in high school, we had sex ed, as most do, or health class, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And our gym teacher was our sex ed teacher, because I feel like that's the go-to for high school.
Yep.
So our high school sex ed gym health teacher hated me and my friends.
Well,
we were always assholes to him because he was always assholes to us. So this obviously escalated more and more, especially after we had him for gym and then we had him for health later, thinking we got away from him.
First of all, I want you to be honest with yourself. Who started it?
I feel like he did.
No, I bet it was you guys.
No, Josh, when I was younger, I was never privy to just start being an asshole.
I don't know.
At 31, I come hard immediately, and I come hard first.
This is the kid who drove...
I come all over everything, Josh.
This is the kid who drove through the music festival blaring the ICP fuck song, so I'm pretty sure you were able to initiate the fuckery whenever you wanted.
Speaking of which, Music Fest going on now. But anyway,
great.
Josh, you know what? I've driven past like 3 or 4 times going to work now. And I always fucking think about like going down there one last time at 31 and just driving through blasting ICP again.
Because that's not sad in any way.
I'm like a high school quarterback wants to live his heydays. I'm driving through here one last time. This fucking shitty ass Jeep.
Toby slips back on the varsity jacket, pumps the ICP.
I'll show these motherfuckers.
Where's my tape?
The best part is, there's probably little kids that are down there that might have flashbacks of 22, like, guys, I remember 15 years ago hearing the same song, driving through a music fest, just blasting.
This jerk did that same thing.
But, so, in health class, we're learning about sex, Josh.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me.
Shut the fuck up. We're like this 60-year-old creepy man.
Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things. That may be. Go on. I had to get it out.
So, we're talking about different female contraceptives, and this guy pulls out a diaphragm.
All right. He just had one.
He had it in a bag.
Sure.
And this thing looked fucking like... I mean, I've never seen one since.
Okay.
I'll throw it there. I've never seen one since. But he had a diaphragm in his hand. It looked like a fucking, like... I mean, this is making me sound like a fucking asshole, but I don't care. You know those little, like... They look like little half rubber domes you can turn upside down. They pop in the air?
Yeah, man.
It looked like a giant one of those almost.
Sweet.
That's the best of my recollection to fucking, like, 15 years ago. But, I mean, if there's any women listening to this, I'm sorry.
Well, first of all,
I'm really just gonna throw that out there one last time.
I mean, like, are you sorry because they're gonna be offended because they manufactured?
They're gonna laugh and be like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about? He's probably never seen a vagina in his entire life."
A vagina is basically like one of those things, just reversed. Like you can pop those out.
That's when you know when she's done because it pops out the other way.
You set the girl down and eventually she like shoots into the air.
Oh my god, we sound like two fucking nerds. But I can't finish this fucking story.
Alright, so you got a diaphragm like popper thing, alright.
So he's talking about this fucking dirty ass rubber looking diaphragm.
Dirty. Why is it dirty? Is it
I don't know. That's the fucked up part. It was like black spotted with like flesh-ish colored rubber. And I don't think it was like polka dot spotted. I think it was just dirty from like
he just had it so long.
Years of health teachers showing this thing off.
Yeah, ripping that thing out. Kids, this is a diaphragm. No one uses these in real life.
But he shows it to me, and he goes, "Toby, catch," and throws it at me like a frisbee.
Well, now we know why it's dirty.
So it comes flying at my fucking face. An instinct when anything comes flying at your face is to catch it. So I catch it. Everyone looks at me. My brain processes what just happened and drop it on the ground.
Yep, that's why it's dirty.
He looks at me and goes, "Throw it back to me." And I just stare at him, just shake my head back and forth. And I just keep telling him no, so eventually he walks over. And that, of course, adds fire to the rest of the instigation that we've always put him through, but that's not really the point. So eventually, Josh, he got promoted to temporary principal of high school.
Man, he's a shooting star. Guys, I'm the interim principal.
So this gets escalated into the one day when, like, bomb scares around the high schools here were a big thing. And it was probably the Columbine time, I want to say.
Yeah, we had
would have put me in
too.
high school.
Yep.
So I think, like, every school in our district had one. But when we had ours, my high school was literally across the street from my house.
Okay.
So we had ours. We were outside at about 1:30. School ends at 2:30. So we're outside for the bomb scare, and I go, "I'm going home now, fuck this."
Nice.
So me and a girl I was hanging out with at the time went back to my house.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that was a bomb scare.
You dropped the bomb scare for sure.
No, I mean, I was friends with her. It wasn't that kind of thing.
Sure. Uh-huh.
Bomb
scare.
I would fucking tell you.
I think you called this bomb scare in yourself. You orchestrated this.
That would have been the best idea ever.
It's the perfect crime.
But, so her and I leave. The next day, I come back to school. I get called down to the office. He goes, of course, this guy, now principal, gym teacher / principal of high school.
Temporary principal.
He calls me into the office. Still doesn't like me. He remembers our run-ins during health class. So he says, "Toby, why are you here? What happened yesterday? Where'd you go?" I said, "Well, there was a bomb scare yesterday, and I really don't want to be here, so I went home." And he starts giving me a lecture about, like, "Well, you can't do that. We're going to have to write you up, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "I mean, if you really have to write me up, I guess you can, but me and my friend were scared of being at school. I live right down the street from school. I'm not staying here. I'm walking home." So he kind of argues with me about it. And then all of a sudden, I think it clicks that he knows he can't bust me on anything for this. I think this is the one time I had, like, a scapegoat of, there's a bomb threat at our school.
I'm scared. Yeah.
So he gives me the dirtiest look ever and goes, "You know what, Toby? The next time you're scared, you just come find me and I'll protect you." And I just looked at him and I said, "Okay, yep, I'll come find you next time." And I just walked out of the principal's office.
That's incredible.
But that's a bold, hard stance. It had to be he knew he couldn't get me on anything. That had to be why that was his last smart-ass comment to get me.
Yeah.
But if there's a bomb scare, how can they really tell you to go back into school?
Well, I mean, it's their responsibility to take care of you, right? So if you just wander off, I could see where they would not like that. Like,
okay, what if I wandered back in and the fucking school blew up because you have fucking
Robocop
security to check the school out?
That would be their fault. But listen, I get your like 17-year-old like anger about this. I'm on board with it. But also, like, if I was like trying to corral a bunch of high schoolers for a bomb threat, like, I would have been so pissed that you just left. Like,
model student, bro.
Yeah.
Model student.
Who does this asshole think he is? Like, just wandering off with another female student, just leaving.
I'm fucking Toby.
but yeah, that guy must have been like, all right, listen, I'm not gonna bust him on anything, but I am gonna give him like the little tap right as he walks off. Like,
I'm gonna assert my dominance as hard as I possibly can in this situation.
Exactly. I'm gonna throw the proverbial diaphragm in his face once again. I'm gonna let him know.
I'm gonna throw him this dirty frisbee one last time. Josh, there was an article today that I found odd, but because we play, again, Dota all the time, it made me think of it.
What's Dota?
It doesn't matter. If you listen to this podcast, you know what it is. If you don't know what it is, it's an online game. It's all that matters.
All right.
It was a discussion about how people play games and just address each other by their online handle versus their real name or whatever you want to go by.
Okay, yeah.
And I was reflecting upon when we play, and people usually call out the dumb classes that the characters were playing.
Yes, they do.
And then I thought about it more, and I guess because I never had a fear of people at least knowing my first name, I think every one of my online handles involves my name.
Mine too, yeah. Like, and that was a very deliberate like thing on my part. Like so when I first started using my GI Josh handle, like that was I guess I started that with my Xbox Live account, or maybe sooner than that. Anyway, like the whole point there was like so people could refer to me as just Josh, like they could shorten it to Josh, because I remember like seeing people with like the dumbest ass names that like no one could pronounce or no one knew.
Yo, smoking 420 coming from back.
Exactly. Like, yeah, like
yo, Blaze up 927.
Yeah, what do you call that person? Like, Blaze, XXX43. Could you please not run around the corner?
You are Mama Fag. Can you come here and heal me up real quick?
Yeah, totally. So I've always liked the having your first name in your handle or your something along those lines, for sure.
I don't think it's that weird, because if we're playing a game and you want my attention, the easiest way I'm going to respond to you is if you like yell at my name.
Yeah, totally.
Like, I mean, just use a character I used to play in stupid games. Like, if everyone's like, "Oh, silencer," I would just kind of zone out because I'm usually too busy bullshitting with you and not really paying attention. But if someone's like, "Hey, Toby, go mid," I hear my name and pay attention right away.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the reason, like, when you go to, like, a conference or something like that, or, like, something for work, like, they make you put on a name tag, so then people can skip the whole, redheaded guy,
hey, Baldy!
Yeah.
Hey, bald, polo shirt. I need your assistance for a second over here.
Yeah, and so they can look at you, very quickly find out what to call you, and then call you that. It works out. So how did the article land on this topic? What was the takeaway?
There's no real takeaway other than just like, I played World of Warcraft with someone for 10 years. I never knew his name. I was the #1 ranked MechWarrior 3 player on Xbox, and my best friend was named Tiger Liger. And the one day I asked him what his real name was, and he said, "I prefer to go by Liger." And I thought that was okay, so I let it go. Man, the internet's a mystery to me.
Are there any like close internet only friends that you have or that you know that you don't know their first name? I'm trying to think of any.
I think I know all of them, because even when we did the Square Circle Jerks podcast thing,
we all went by first names.
Well, I know I did it first. I know when we had the chat room, we were talking to everybody else, I always said I don't want to go by my Reddit handle. I want to go by my name.
Yeah.
Because that's how I recognize myself. I don't want to be like, "Hey everybody, it's Format 4 TV here, bringing you wrestling for this week."
Yeah, totally. It's stupid. That's really dumb. And also, it's like, yeah, like I think I remember us having that discussion like very early on. Like, are we gonna like say our first names? Like, is that gonna be how we're doing it? And it's just like if I had to like call someone like something stupid like Formatted for TV, it would have been awful if I had to refer to you.
I went hard for first name immediately.
Yeah, me too. So Toby, I have had a very movie-filled last week.
I watch a lot of movies too on the computer.
Great. Have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy yet?
I have not.
Toby.
But it has Rocket Raccoon.
It has Rocket Raccoon, not Racket Raccoon.
Well, words are hard sometimes. Alliteration's tough.
Is that alliteration? I mean, it's 2 R's.
Yeah, fuckheads.
But
that's exactly what it means.
You fucked up on the swapping of the vowel sounds.
They're both raw sounds.
You're a raw sound. Anyway,
Raccoon rocket.
We're missing the point.
Blasting off again.
Tink. You need that at the end.
Thanks.
Anyway, Guardians of the Galaxy blew my freaking mind, dude. It was so good, so incredibly good. And here's the thing. So, have you ever had this moment where, like, one, as a nerd, you feel like vindicated finally, and like, see, this thing I was into, it's really cool, and everyone else sees it now. Have you ever had that moment?
The only person I ever get that vindication with is you. When I fucking do something, you tell me it's goddamn stupid, and then you do it like a week later. Okay, well, that's a good example. But beyond that, no, because like when Dota was on ESPN, I couldn't be like, everybody look at me, Dota's on television!
You could have.
I still would have lost.
You could have.
Yes.
Anyway, I've had a very like dual feeling about Guardians of the Galaxy, because one, it was awesome, and I've been a big fan of the comics since it, like, I read that 25-issue series that this movie was based on from issue 1. Like, I picked it up the month it came out, read it monthly, and I thought I was, like, the only one who knew about it until they announced the movie, and everyone was like, oh, Guardians of the Galaxy is pretty cool. So I was like, yeah, see, like, I was on the ground floor, this thing I like is popular, it's this huge movie. But also, it's sort of like, I want everyone to know that I'm not a poser now, right? This is sort of like the band thing now for me, where it's like, I knew them when they were in the basement. Like, I knew them when they were underground. I don't want people to think I'm
like... I knew them before they were Guardians.
Exactly. Like, I knew it when it was just a comic book. And now I like really... I remember I had a conversation this week with someone, and I was ashamed afterwards, because I told them, and now I'm telling all of you out here in podcast land, so I'm going to be even more ashamed, but... I told this person, letting them know that I was a big fan, that I owned the Rocket Raccoon 1985 miniseries, all 4 issues. And, like, they had to know that I was a big fan of the series before the movie came out. And I don't know why I need that.
Do you feel like it got you anywhere? Did they, like, bow down to you?
No.
Did they hoist you on their shoulders and petard?
Tell me, if anything, I was hoisted up on my petard, and they maybe thought less of me.
Excellent. That's what movies are good for. So
I really felt like comic book guy or something from The Simpsons to give you a reference that you would understand.
Thank you.
Totally. But Guardians of the Galaxy, man, that was a killer movie. It felt like Star Wars in terms of like world building. That they like set up this cool universe, and there are tons of ways they could take it and tons of directions it could go. Like, it was really, really cool.
Josh, if you just rolled a 20-sided die, like that's our freaking logo. 1 to 20, what did it land on for this movie?
I would say that it landed on... It was easily my favorite, like, Marvel movie, superhero movie ever. So it was like a good, like, 18, 19 for me. It was pretty much as good as a movie can get for Josh.
There we go.
All right.
That's the Josh review for Guardians of the Galaxy.
It is. I also watched another movie, Tobias. I saw the new Robocop.
The one where Detroit's actually the way Detroit... Wait. One where... It doesn't have... Oh, God. I give up.
Okay.
I know what I was trying to say. I fucking give up. I tanked this joke. On with the show.
Toby apologizes to everyone out there for not being funny. So I've never seen the original Robocop. Maybe that's a good way to start this. Okay. So new Robocop was sort of meh for me. It was like, all right, it's a robot dude. It's kind of all cheesy. At one point, someone said, I wouldn't buy that for $1, and I knew that was from the original Robocop when he said I would buy that for $1, but that's really all I knew, so I didn't really get much out of it. Long story short, I'm only bringing this up for one reason.
Because you wish you had a gun that came out of your leg.
Not even that. He didn't even have a gun out of his leg. He just carried a gun. He just had a gun. And then he had...
Wait, so the entire movie, it never went back into his leg for the holster?
I don't think it did. I don't remember. He had like 4 different suits. It was like he had his like black stealth one.
How does he have suits?
Because when they take it all apart, he is a head like with an exposed brain. He is 2 lungs in like glass cases. He is a right arm, and that's pretty much it. And then they put it in a suit.
How did he get in the suit?
Because they affix it around him. Like he
No.
Okay.
No. Or like if I'm asking you origin story for new RoboCop 2014.
Okay.
How did he turn into RoboCop?
Well, stop me if you've heard this before. He's a cop, and all the other cops are dirty. And he's going after the guy that no one's going to take down because everyone else is on the payroll. And then they blow up his car, and he almost dies. And then they can put him back together, but then the corporation's evil, and they make him a robot guy and all kinds of stuff.
The logistics behind this are mind-blowing to me right now.
It also, so the whole thing, the organization needed, and, they wanted drones on American soil, right? So that was illegal.
So this is the Amazon story.
This is like Amazon, the biography, basically. So
nice.
All Amazon needs is a cop who's not dirty, but all the others are, and they need to blow up his car, and then drones are in your backyard. Everybody, freaking tinfoil hat, get ready, because Amazon cop is on the prowl.
Paul Blart, Amazon cop.
But anyway, at one point, so he gets blown up. His wife signs over his body basically to this organization because it's the only hope he has of surviving, and they turn him into RoboCop. At one point, they bring him home, right? But the thing about RoboCop is he doesn't have a casual suit. It's all military, right? It's all super black stealth. So he's rolling in this house that looks just like middle America normal house as RoboCop. So his wife hugs him and lays her head on his RoboCop chest. And he has this dead look on his face, but he's sad, he's happy to see her. And then he goes and sees his son who's sitting in the chair. So he walks.
Does he still have memories?
Yeah, he knows who he is and everything. He's happy to see his family again. But he asks his son if he wants to touch it, meaning the suit, meaning the body, and the kid sort of is nah, not really, and
wanna touch it?
Yeah, it was a little creepy. He kneels in front of his son and he just goes, wanna touch it? Anyway, so then the whole thing is oh, he can't go home again, right? Because he's RoboCop and he's a monster and he's a robot and all this shit. I want to see the movie, and this is the sequel / reimagining that you and I are gonna make and get famous. I want to see the movie where RoboCop gets remade and just goes home. He's just done. He doesn't have to go, finish fighting crime. The rest of that movie doesn't happen. I just want to see, RoboCop being a stay-at-home dad. That's all I want. I want him in a suit. I want him going out picking up the newspaper. I want him grilling out back. I want scenes from RoboCop dad's life. That's what.
And this is why Josh isn't in Hollywood.
It'd be great, man. That would be a good, running, comic strip or something. It's RoboCop Dad. It'd be right under Family Circus. It'd be great, Toby.
Josh, there's 2 big news stories this week.
Only 2?
Well, usually you have 0. It just depends on the week for me.
Okay, great.
So, the new hotness, you'll see why I use that word, in online videos right now. There's the fire challenge.
Oh, dear Lord. I'm familiar with this as well.
I didn't watch any of the videos, but it's just kids lighting themselves on fire, isn't it?
Yes.
Putting hairspray on their hand, lighting on fire?
The one I saw was lighter fluid. He literally doused himself with lighter fluid and then was surprised when he went up in flames when he lit himself on fire.
And that didn't go out?
And it didn't go out.
What the fuck is wrong with kids now?
Right?
I'm coming old man real hard right now. What the fuck is wrong with people?
You know what? I can't wait until the shoot yourself in the head challenge happens.
Someone did that the other day.
Someone
fucking tried to take a selfie of them with a fucking gun pointed at their head and went off like an asshole.
All right, here's the only good thing about all this is that
they're not breeding.
Yeah, this is called thinning the herd, and it's necessary from an evolutionary standpoint.
I mean, I am glad that they're not that. I mean, most of these people hopefully aren't having kids anymore. But fucking people.
I know.
Jesus Christ.
Whenever I see something like this, so the video that I saw, I actually watched one of the videos, and just to describe this, he was standing in a shower. He was standing in a tub shower. I think the water was running, not 100% sure. It was a very shaky cell phone camera. And yeah, doused himself in lighter fluid. He's making jokes about his balls or something. And then
my balls are on fire.
Yeah,
yuck, 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 yuck.
That was I think pretty much the joke. Then he lights himself on fire. He goes up in flames, I think way bigger than he expected, which, again, he covered his upper body in lighter fluid, so that's going to happen. So his first reaction was not to get under the water, but to jump out of the tub.
That's brilliant.
Yep. So a lady who appeared to be older than him, so probably his mother, was yelling like, "Get under the water! Get under the water!" and like threw him under and like put him out. But first of all, it's like your mom is there, or like a person who like knows that water puts out flames. So they should have also known that you probably shouldn't douse yourself in flames. One would think.
Logistically speaking, it is a bad idea. Josh, when I was 17, here we go again.
Did you light yourself on fire?
I come hard at a lot of people. I'm pretty sure I did everything I ever bitched about.
Oh, dear Lord, Toby.
We were on a band trip to Ireland. And this is around the time we figured out that hairspray was flammable.
Oh, my gosh.
So we sprayed the toilet seat with hairspray and lit it on fire and turned the light off.
Okay, at least you're not lighting yourself on fire.
Oh, it gets better.
Oh, dear Lord.
But it glowed this nice blue flame. So we're like, this is fun. And then we were like, we're going to put it in our hand and light it. Now, I'm going to throw this out there for you. The difference between light... Well, I mean, you know what? Now that I think about it, I used to like do like the blowtorch thing. Like, who's the... Like Rorschach? Where you get like the aerosol cans on a lighter?
Yeah.
I used to do that a lot, too. I have a fire thing, I guess.
Pretty dangerous, but okay.
Well, I mean, like, I know how it works. I knew how it worked ahead of time. I don't know what led to us spraying it on the toilet seat. But, so we did this a couple times. We're like, we'll put it in our fucking hands. So, Josh, the difference between hairspray and lighter fluid, for example, is lighter fluid is meant to keep burning.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a substitute until something else catches on fire.
Yeah.
Hairspray burns out immediately.
Yeah, well,
so when we were doing it, we'd spray your hand, you light it, it just goes real quick and goes out. So me and two other friends were doing it. We were fine. A third friend comes into the hotel room, goes, "I'm going to do it too." Puts too much in his hand and actually burns his hand.
Yeah, because you're lighting your hand on fire.
Yeah, so obviously, when you're smarter, you can get away with this shit.
No.
But, yeah, I did. I'm still here, bitch. But, so the kid had to lie to the band chaperones and be like, "I tried to press my pants in the pressing machines that are in the room, and I touched it and it burnt my hand."
Oh my god.
And I'm sure they knew better, but no one ever really questioned it.
Yeah, that story did not fly. Everyone knew.
It's almost like my bomb threat story. The story doesn't really check out, but they don't have proof otherwise. So I just have to say,
I was scared.
I guess. Yeah.
Toby, I was lit on fire one time in high school. My friend, quote unquote, my friend lit me on fire in the middle of class one time. He would always love to, like, he carried a lighter because, you know, he was hip and cool and he smoked, right? And he wanted everyone to know. But he would always, like, light the fringes, like, on your hoodie on fire so that they like burn up real fast and then it
That's fun to do. That's fun to do on socks because if your socks have a lot of fuzzies on them, your sock goes.
So
like,
it was that sort of a thing. One time though, he upped the ante. It was all fun and games when he was lighting fuzzies. Until he upped the ante, and he lit my arm hair on fire. Like, I don't know what he was thinking, but he lit me on fire.
It's funny.
It wasn't funny at all. Like
it smells like shit. It's the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, it encircled my arm real fast, right? Like, I don't know what happened with like all of my arm. Smelled like crazy.
Your fucking Axe body spray lit you on fire. Congratulations.
It wasn't Axe body spray. It was on my arm, not my underarms.
You're probably body spray is meant to go all over the place. You're probably one of those people that like bathed in Axe.
No.
I smell so cool right now.
Why are you on his side? So he's a jerk, and apparently you are too. That's where we're landing on this.
And Josh, to double up on the news.
Yeah.
And bring into the holiday for this week, we're coming hard with one holiday.
All right. What's our favorite holiday?
This is going to appeal to you in a heartbeat.
All right.
Josh.
See how well you know me here. Toby.
August 7th. Mm-hmm. The day this comes out. TNA Wrestling declared it's National Put Your Boss Through a Table Day.
It is. It actually is. Yeah. I saw that announcement.
So for TNA is a throwaway wrestling organization that's probably closing soon.
Yeah.
They're like junior varsity WWE.
Well, and also, like, not to spoiler over into wrestling territory here, but, like, they just got canceled. Their television show literally just got canceled. So, this is a cry for help holiday is what this is.
Right. So, recently, to not drag out, like, actual wrestlers' names, because people probably don't know, or they don't care. Two wrestlers' big thing, their entire career was putting people through tables.
Is that the wrestler's name? Hi, I'm Big Thing.
The Dudley Boys are known for putting people through tables. So recently, they decided that's a good idea to start putting their boss through a table. Josh, their boss, of course, is probably like a 5 foot, 120 pound female.
Yes.
That doesn't know how to wrestle.
No.
She got a concussion a while ago from being put through a table because she doesn't know how to wrestle.
Toby, she doesn't even know how to own a wrestling company, let alone wrestle.
So they are having National Put Your Boss Through a Table Day. Josh, what you're actually supposed to do, you're supposed to use social media using the hashtag BossToss. Use it at Impact Wrestling or on their Facebook. They're actually giving away a gift card for you assaulting your boss and putting them through a table.
I feel dirty that you explained the rules to this.
Well, you have to, because you would think it's a joke, but they're giving away money.
Yeah.
For making presumably fake videos of you throwing your boss through a table.
Are they actually?
This seems.
Are they actually soliciting for videos? Because the thing I saw was like, change your Twitter icon to this one. It was the thing I saw. But they actually want like videos of you assaulting people?
Be creative using video or photos, and be sure to tag at Impact Wrestling on Twitter.
Amazing. So I hope that they get arrested or something. That's.
I hope there's a huge lawsuit.
Yeah.
I don't really want someone to get hurt, but I hope someone fucks up their boss accidentally. And there's just a huge lawsuit that spirals out of control of this. I'm waiting for next week for us to talk about the person that got hurt doing this for real.
Me too. I'm excited for that to happen. I hope someone comes in, kicks their boss in the gut, and then just power bombs them through their desk.
It might be my boss if he doesn't play his cards right the next couple days.
Yeah, so watch your back.
You going through your table, motherfucker? Josh, bringing up the rear like you love to do is our favorite part of the podcast, where we plug a bunch of shit, we answer some questions from the listeners, and just all around interact with our loving fan base.
Toby, I don't have a favorite part of the podcast because they're all my favorite.
Just like everyone that listens is my favorite.
Yep. Way to one-up me, jerk.
Josh, as you know, you can find us on iTunes, Geek Pop Podcast, and we ask people to leave us reviews on there. Someone left us a review.
Who would that be?
Chris Maffey, I don't know how to say your last name, but I'm sorry. Chris said, if you loved Overanalyzed on YouTube, this is awesome. If you have no idea what Overanalyzed is, this is still awesome. Toby and Josh are hilarious and have tremendous chemistry as hosts. They can literally discuss anything and will be entertaining. It's like hanging out with your friends, except they're probably much funnier than your actual friends. This is probably the best fucking review I've gotten anything in my entire goddamn life.
That's the nicest thing anyone has ever said about me ever, including my mother. So... So thanks, Chris.
Spoilers, Josh's mom says lots of nice things about me.
She does, which I was like, Mom, stop talking about Toby. Like, I know you think he's cool and all, and he says lots of nasty things about you, which you should probably make him shut up about. But like seriously, like don't kiss and tell.
She likes when I talk dirty to her like that.
I know.
Josh's mom is a saint. All you shut the fuck up about Josh's mom out there.
My mom's a classy lady.
Josh, last week we asked about the most embarrassing thing that happened to people.
Okay.
Josh, well, let me preface it by every week we have a question of the week where we ask out to the audience something that we talked about during that episode and when everyone's response is back. So last week we talked about embarrassing moments, and one of our dear friend Dylan has an embarrassing story for us.
Okay, I'm ready.
Last summer, he worked at Bible camp at his church and had a huge crush on the girl that was paired up with me to take care of a group of 4th graders. When I started reading this question, I thought he had a crush on a 4th grader. I felt kind of fucked up.
All of them.
I feel better about this already.
Tell me, if you have a crush on multiple young girls, you can add their ages together. That's a little known fact. As long as the cumulative ages.
Oh my god, do not follow advice given on this week's episode. Do not light yourself on fire. Do not have crushes on girls adding up to 18. He has known her from the youth group that we both attended earlier in the year, and he'd been building up the courage to ask her out all year, but when he finally came to talk to her, he pulled a Josh.
Oh, I don't want that to be a thing. Dylan, that's not a thing.
It was after Bible camp on the last day, and all of us group leaders were having a pizza party and hanging out.
Wait, I want to guess at what pulling a Josh is before we continue. Did he try to corner her in an elevator and talk about awkward things?
So, going down, I see.
Going down? We're not even on an elevator, Dylan.
During the pizza party, he walked up to her and her friends. He looked at her awkwardly and said in a really fast voice, hey, I just want to tell you that I really like you, so bye. And he immediately turned on his heels and took off like the Tasmanian devil as they burst out into laughter behind me.
Aww.
I proceeded to jump the fence, leap into my dad's car, and never go back to youth group again.
I can completely commiserate. Oh, have you ever done something, Toby, that then girls have laughed at you like at your back? Has that ever happened to you? Like immediate laughter based on something like awkward you've done?
I'm sure it has. I can't think of specific moments, but usually when like girls laugh at me, I usually just if I hear them, I usually just make a dumbass joke to try to diffuse it.
Well, it's also like usually on purpose too, right? Like you're trying to be funny or something, but like
yeah, I mean it's trying to score points with the girls after the points might have been lost.
There was one time when I was young. I was real young. Like I was earlier than dating age even, but we were at a hotel or something, and I think going to get ice maybe. And there were like two girls my age walking by, like, and at the time, like, they were like super cute. So I saw them earlier, and then like happened to be walking down the hallway. They were walking by, so I was like, all right, here's my play, here's my move. When they get right up to him, I'm like, hey, how's it going? To him, and like what I thought was probably like a sexy voice. And I remember the two girls just like staring at me, and then me passing them, and then them cracking up, just laughing at me, Toby.
Girls are mean.
They are mean.
So Dylan also has a question for us that he wants to tell a story with as well. Last week, his mom walked on him caressing his face as you guys instructed the listeners to do. The week before that, she walked on me putting 114 stickers on my friend's face, trying to break a world record, apparently. Josh, what is the strangest thing that someone has walked in on you that you cannot explain? I already told my hand job story, so that's not going to count this. I have a different one.
There are the easy,
that's not really
dirty
strange
answers.
To be.
Why don't you go ahead and tell yours? I'll see if I can come up with one.
And this isn't the strangest thing I can think of, but this is the most recent.
Okay.
As Josh knows, there's a mini fridge in my office that the freezer has turned into a giant brick of ice. And recently I've determined that if I put a screwdriver in the ice and hit it with a hammer, the ice slowly breaks up. So I've taken to become
first of all,
an ice climber of sorts. And every day I try to knock out a little piece of this ice. And I mean, it's a real small piece, but every day I go at it, Josh.
I like how you explain that process. Like, no one has ever broken up ice that way ever. Like, I found out that if you put a point in an ice and then you hammer it...
It's a fucking radio show, you bitch. I'm trying to tell fucking stories.
Guys, you'll never believe.
Guys, you'll never get...
can be broken.
One secret that Ice Picks don't want you to know.
Click through to find out.
But, so every day, I try to knock a piece out of it. And the other day, I knocked a huge piece out. I was pretty fucking proud of myself. But I had the fridge open still. I had just put down the hammer and screwdriver that I use to do these operations. And my boss happens to walk by and look in the back room and sees me in the fridge. So he says, oh, you're getting lunch already? And in my panicked state, I went real quick with, oh, just checking my drink reserves. Because I like to put delicious beverages in the fridge. But literally it was like 5 seconds after I put the hammer and screwdriver down, so I definitely dodged the bullet with that one. So that was near embarrassing that I played my way out of. But that's the kind of dumb shit I do. So I'd say at least once a week I embarrass myself somehow.
I guess I have a weird work-related one like that. So, there are like 3 of us that like to kind of goof around at work sometimes and like have some fun. And one day my boss wasn't there, so... My boss has, like, an office, and the rest of us are just kind of in cubes and stuff. So he wasn't there, so we were, like, messing around. So we all decided just to go, like sit in his dark office and talk for a while. I don't know why, but it seemed like the thing to do. So he happened to come in. It was just, like, randomly in, like, the middle of the day. So he, like, walks in his dark office, and we're just sitting on his desk, just hanging out. So we're like, oh, hey, how's it going? And we all just sort of file out of the room, and nothing was ever said of it. It's pretty good.
Another great work story that I can think of, when we had my last boss still, the one day, me and the 2 guys I work with, we were all kind of fucking around, usually prompted on by me. And we got a new server rack that has tinted windows on it. The reason why, I have no idea. And it wasn't filled up yet, so we were talking about the server rack, and I said, I bet you I can fit in here. So they're like, okay, go ahead. So I climbed in the server rack, and they closed it and locked me in it. And then through the tinted glass, I can see my boss coming out of his office and just looking at what we're doing. So my one coworker opens the door. Our boss sees me coming out of the server rack. And I just look at him and go, So-and-so locked me in here. I sat that back down real quick.
So locked me in here.
And he gave us this dirty look like, I can't believe I fucking hired all you assholes. He just walked out of the room real quick. But that was another great work moment of where you can see I'm a model employee.
Of course, yeah.
It's really, I think, the moral of the story.
Never screwing around, anything like that, yeah.
But so this week's question of the week is going to be, what's one of the dumbest things you ever did? Or the strangest thing you ever got busted on? You can tell a story about lighting yourself on fire, chiseling ice out of a fridge at work. All of those questions can be asked answered at cast@geek-pop.com. Subject question of the week. Answer of the week, question of the week, whatever you want to call it. And Josh, I am falling apart this week with this shit. God damn it.
I think it was because I complimented you on the top, and then you now are like thrown off your game.
Yeah, I'm fucking all defrabulated. Josh, every week we also like to just answer questions that the listeners ask us.
I love it.
Those two. Cast@geek-pop.com. We have one question this week. It's from Dylan. I split him up because he asked like 17 things. Josh, Dylan, this is pretty much just for you.
Okay.
I'm going to chime in when I can, which is probably never, but This is for you.
Great.
Josh, he started to really get into comic books, but as you all know, all the good comic book series are already on like issue 262 or something really far into the series.
True.
He knows his family won't approve of him ordering like 200 comic books by mail. If a comic book was just in the first issue and he was with it since it just started, they might be a little more supportive though. Josh, number one, how can he know when a new comic book series is going to come out? Question two, is there a website where you can read comic books for free? And question three, are there any comic books that you recommend?
Okay, so from the top here, definitely. As far as like websites to keep you up on comics, there are lots of them. So there's a publication called Diamond, and they put out what's called previews. So previews is a big book, and you can get the physical version, but lots and lots of websites will like reprint what previews had in it. So they'll list out all the books and give like a little description of what the book's going to be about and stuff like that. So what's in previews, what comes out every month, is actually what's going to be on sale in 2 months. So it's like 2 months ahead of time, right? So you can like get ready and know what you're going to order. I do like mail order comics, so I'm looking at previews every month, picking out the things I want to buy, making an order, and then that order shows up like on my front door in 2 months. So if you want to like get into a series now, I talked about the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Definitely pick up some Guardians of the Galaxy. That original series that I said was awesome, that the movie was based on, that's only 25 issues. So even if you like just bought all of that series, that would be, I think it's maybe 3 or 4 trade paperbacks. So that wouldn't be that expensive. Like, that would be easy, and then you have like that whole story.
For those that don't know what trade paperbacks are, it's basically a compendium of, we'll say like 10 issues, 15 issues, how they want to...
It's usually like, if you buy the smaller ones, it's usually honestly like 5. Like, they group like 5 issues together.
There you go. But basically, instead of buying 5 issues separately, you buy all 5 issues in one bigger book. Yeah,
and it's usually cheaper, so it's cheaper than buying the individual issues by themselves. And also, it looks more like an actual book, like you put it on like a bookshelf instead of a single issue. So if you're just trying
I have a bunch of those.
Exactly.
As an aside.
So if you're like kind of casual into comics or just trying to get into comics and catch up on stuff you've missed, like that's a great way to start. Is like go to your local, like Barnes and Noble or something, go to the comic section and just pick out something that looks cool. And start there. But if you're actually looking for like to dive headfirst into single issues, I would say Guardians of the Galaxy is cool. There's a second series of that I think there are 19 issues in so far, somewhere around there. So that's not too deep. You could probably catch up on that pretty quickly. And also, if you just jump headfirst into like Avengers, anything like that, like you'll catch on pretty quick. Like they're switching artists enough and writers enough that nothing is going to be impenetrable for you if you're sticking to like Marvel and DC. So I would say like, pick a character that is interesting to you and read whatever book they're in and see if you like it. Just kind of dabble in stuff and stick with what you enjoy.
Josh, what are your, just like real quick, top 3 series?
Like of all time or currently?
We'll go current.
Okay, so currently the kind of recent, still sort of ongoing, the new Daredevil stuff is really, really good. It is, it's great art, really, really good stories. Spider-Man sucks right now, so kind of avoid Spider-Man. It's getting better. Like Peter's back now, but for a while, like Peter Parker was dead, and he
the third time
in his body was Dr. Octopus, and it's this whole thing, and this guy named Dan Slott writes it, and Dan Slott's a fucking asshole, so ignore all that.
Fuck you, Dan Slott.
Yeah,
hashtag.
Dan Slott can suck Geek Pop's collective dick, as far as I'm concerned. So let's see what else is good right now. As I said, Guardians of the Galaxy is really good. A lot of the Batman stuff's okay right now, or has been okay lately. So like, Detective Comics is really cool.
If you want fucking rattle off the entire goddamn comic book catalog, Josh. I said quick.
I got one more. The Ultimate Comics Spider-Man is good, not the regular Spider-Man, but Ultimate Spider-Man. Anyway, I'm done. That's it.
Okay. A couple of my favorites. I read all the Ultimate stuff, or at least the first run before it was Miles. I always dug that shit. I really like iZombie. That's pretty good. There's a movie coming out soon.
Oh, I haven't read
in
that.
the future.
Okay. Cool.
It's zombie-ish, which is getting kind of played out at the moment. So I'm not a huge fan of that one anymore. Another one, I also like The Darkness. There are 2 video games off of it. The art's pretty cool. The story's pretty dark and like angsty and vengeful, which is kind of shit that I get into for some reason.
That's you. That sums you up in a word.
And I think one of my favorite ones is Hack Slash. And there's an anime named Hack Slash, or Hack dot slash.
Dot hack
and,
slash.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same thing. The anime is about like going into a computer and playing EverQuest and getting sucked into it and dying.
Yep.
The comic book version is about Jason Voorhees, Friday the 13th type guy. It's a protector of this girl.
Oh.
And it's like, it's very like buddy cop ish. Like there's comedy to the horror part of it, and that's one of my favorite ones too, just because like the Jason tie-in.
Huh, cool. I haven't heard of like 2 out of 3 of those. That's pretty cool.
Boom! I just blew your mind, motherfucker!
I mean, sure, I guess.
The website to read comic books for free, it's called The Pirate Bay.
Yeah, I mean, like, sure, you can pirate stuff if you're a jerk.
If he wants to read them for free, the only thing he's going to do is pirate them.
That's true.
So that answers that question.
Also,
if you want to read them for free, just steal them. And then buy them later if you want to.
And okay, so if you do steal them, they're also pretty cool. Like if you have like an iPad or your phone or whatever, there are apps where you can actually like read those comic files on your phone or your computer or your device. So those are pretty rad too, if you pirate comics.
I think the PC one is called CB Reader,
yep.
CBR Reader, just to throw it out
or
there.
Or C Display is another one.
I think that's the one I use actually.
Yeah. It's good.
If I stole comics and read the comics that way.
Yeah, I mean
I would use something like C Display probably.
I'm only using C Display when I scan my own comic books and create my own CBR files from books that I actually physically own.
And on that nerdy note of how to not pirate things properly, Josh, let's wrap it up for the week.
Let's do that.
Josh, where can you find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at GI_Josh and see all the things I do there.
All right. If that's the only thing you're going to plug, that's fine.
Well, I mean, there are links to the things that I do on Twitter, Toby.
All right. Well, then I will tone it down a little bit. You can find me on Twitter at Girls Heart Geeks. You can find links to all the things I do on there. But more importantly, you can find Geek Pop Podcast on the internet, geek-pop.com, or on iTunes, on the iTunes store. You can like us and subscribe and leave us nice reviews that we'll read on the podcast.
Or
give us 5
Toby.
stars. I didn't forget, bro. I did not forget.
Carry on.
But do not 5-star us, because I will call you an asshole on the internet. And you'll get your feelings hurt because I'm a random voice to you that's insulting you. But Josh, starting today, hot off the presses. Hot off the internet presses, the tubes are filled with internet right now. You can also find us on Stitcher.
You can.
Stitcher is a iPod type, not an iPod. It's a podcast type service. You can stream our podcast, listen to us on there. And if you leave us a review on there, we'll read it off as well on the show. So that's just another way to find our glorious voices filling your ear holes.
Heck
with all sorts of
man.
So to wrap it up, if you want to talk to us in next week, cast@geek-pop.com. Email us your question of the week answers. Email us questions for the week. Talk to us, call us assholes, send us nice emails. I won't show Josh. Once again, I am Toby.
And I'm Josh.
Have a nice week.
Later.
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 Have a nice week.